You think you've moved on, but you haven't. You still check her stories, still hope she'll text, still replay old conversations, and you hate yourself for it. Before we go deeper, hit subscribe. This channel exists for men ready to face the truth, not for comfort, for clarity. Now let's talk about why you're stuck. It's not about her. It never was. You think you miss her, but what you really miss is who you were trying to be. You miss the version of yourself that had purpose, that had direction, that felt wanted. She didn't give you that. You gave it to yourself. And when she left, you lost it. Not because she took it, but because you tied it to her. That's the mistake. You built your identity around her presence, your worth around her validation, your peace around her mood, and now she's gone. And you don't know who you are. That's why you can't move on. You're not mourning her. You're mourning the man you stopped being. Let's go deeper. When you were with her, you had a mission. Make her happy. Keep her interested. Prove you were enough. Every day had meaning because she was the goal. Now there's nothing. No one to impress, no one to chase, no one to fix things for. And that emptiness is unbearable. So you fill it with memories, with hypotheticals, with hope that maybe she'll come back because that's easier than building a new mission, easier than finding purpose outside of her, easier than becoming someone again. But here's the truth. She's not coming back. And even if she did, it wouldn't fix you. Because the problem isn't her absence. It's your lack of self. You don't miss her. You miss having a reason to wake up. And that reason was never supposed to be her. It was supposed to be you. Let's talk about attraction for a moment. You think she left because you weren't good enough, not tall enough, not rich enough, not interesting enough. But that's not why she left. She left because you disappeared. You stopped being a man with a path. You became a man who orbited her. And orbiting is not attractive. It's suffocating. Women don't want to be your purpose. They want to join a man who already has one. And you didn't have one. You had her. That's why she pulled away. Not because you failed, but because you made her the center. And no one wants that responsibility. Now she's gone. And you're sitting there wondering what you did wrong. Here's what you did wrong. You abandoned yourself. You stopped working on your body, stopped chasing your goals, stopped spending time with your brothers. You gave up everything that made you feel like a man. And you did it for her, thinking that's what love was. But love isn't sacrifice. It's addition. You don't subtract from yourself to make room for someone. You grow large enough to include them, and you didn't grow. You shrank and now you're small, and you feel it every single day. This is why you can't move on. Not because she was special, but because you're not who you were and you don't know how to get back. So, let's talk about how. First, stop waiting. Stop waiting for closure. Stop waiting for an apology. Stop waiting for her to realize she made a mistake. She won't. And even if she does, it won't heal you. Closure is a myth. You don't need her permission to move forward. You need your own. Second, stop checking on her. Unfollow her. Delete the photos. Remove her number. Not out of anger, out of respect for yourself. Every time you check, you reset the healing. You reopen the wound. You tell yourself she still matters and she doesn't. Not anymore. Third, rebuild your mission. This is the hardest part because it requires honesty. What did you want before her? What did you care about? What made you feel alive? Go back to that. Not to impress anyone, not to post about it, but because you need it. Your soul needs it. You need something bigger than her memory, something that makes you tired at night, something that makes you proud in the morning. Find that and pour yourself into it. Fourth, feel the pain. Don't run from it. Don't numb it. Don't distract yourself with another woman. Sit with it. Let it break you. Because on the other side of that break is clarity. You'll realize she wasn't the one. She was just the mirror showing you where you were weak, where you were dependent, where you were lost. And now you have the chance to fix that. Not for her, for you. Fifth, stop romanticizing the past. You remember the good days, the laughter, the connection, the intimacy, but you forget the rest. The arguments, the anxiety, the feeling of never being enough, the nights you cried, the days you felt invisible. That was real too. And it was more frequent than the good. You're not missing her. You're missing a highlight reel, a version that didn't exist. Stop worshiping a ghost. Now, let's talk about self-respect. You lost it. Not all at once, but slowly. Every time you texted first, every time you apologized for nothing, every time you changed yourself to keep her comfortable, you taught her you didn't matter, and eventually she believed you. That's not her fault. It's yours. You have to take responsibility, not to feel shame, but to take back power. You can't control her, but you can control yourself. And right now, you're not. You're still giving her energy, still letting her live in your head, still letting her dictate your mood. That's not moving on, that's imprisonment. And you hold the key. You just won't use it because part of you still hopes. Hope is dangerous when it's misplaced, and yours is. She's not thinking about you. She's not losing sleep. She's not replaying the memories. She's moved on. And you need to accept that, not to hurt yourself, but to free yourself. Let's talk about masculinity for a moment. Real masculinity isn't about being cold. It's about being grounded. It's not about not feeling. It's about not being controlled by feelings. You feel the pain, but you don't let it stop you. You acknowledge the loss, but you don't let it define you. You honor what was, but you don't worship it. That's strength. Not pretending it doesn't hurt, but moving anyway. Right now, you're stuck because you're soft. Not in a bad way, but in an undisciplined way. You let your emotions lead. You let your thoughts spiral. You let your pain become your identity. And that's not manly. It's not even human. It's self-destruction disguised as loyalty. You think you're being faithful to the love you had, but you're just being weak. And I say that with respect because I've been there. We all have. But the difference between boys and men is this. Boys wait for permission to heal. Men give it to themselves. So give it to yourself right now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now because you'll never feel ready. Healing doesn't feel good at first. It feels like betrayal, like you're letting go of something sacred, but you're not. You're letting go of something that's already gone, and holding on is killing you. Let's get practical. Tomorrow morning, you wake up. You don't check your phone. You get up. You train your body. You feed yourself real food. You work on something that matters. You talk to a friend. You read something useful. You go to bed tired. You do that again the next day. And the next, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. And somewhere in that routine, you'll forget. Not forever, but for an hour, then a morning, then a day. And those gaps will grow until one day you realize you didn't think about her. Not once. And it won't feel like victory. It'll just feel like peace. That's when you've moved on. Not when you hate her, not when you replace her, but when you simply don't need to think about her anymore. Now let's address the uncomfortable part. Maybe you don't want to move on. Maybe you like the pain because it's familiar, because it makes you feel deep, because it gives you an excuse not to try, not to risk again, not to face your own emptiness. If that's true, admit it, because you can't fix what you won't name. Some men wear their pain like a badge, like it makes them interesting. It doesn't. It makes them stuck. And that's a choice. A cowardly one, but still a choice. So choose differently. Choose to be free, not because she deserves it, but because you do. You deserve to wake up light, to laugh without guilt, to want someone new without comparison, to build a life that isn't haunted. And you can, but only if you decide. Right now, today, this moment, stop reading this and waiting for magic. There is no magic. There's only decision and action and time. So decide, let her go, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with gratitude. She taught you something. Maybe she taught you what you don't want. Maybe she showed you where you're weak. Maybe she was the catalyst you needed. Thank her for that silently in your heart. And then close the door, lock it, and walk away. Because there's a life waiting for you, a better one where you're whole, where you're strong, where you're enough. Not because someone said so, but because you built it. That life doesn't include her, and that's okay. It includes you, the real you, the one you abandoned. Go find him. He's waiting. If this hit you, subscribe now. We're building men here, not boys, not victims. Men, join us.